If you want to migrate from Shopify to Wix, you might feel a bit overwhelmed. There are so many videos and articles that show different methods on how to do this, but in this video, I'm gonna show you my go-to way to migrate from Shopify to Wix from someone who has done it multiple times. And here's the thing, most people think this process is way more complicated than it actually is. They either pay thousands of dollars to developers, or they try to rebuild everything from scratch and spend days remaking the site. Now I'm gonna show you the exact step-by-step process that I use, transferring all your products, customer data, order history, reviews, everything in just a few clicks with no stress. So if you're ready to make the switch, let's dive right in. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is log into our Shopify dashboard. Go ahead and open your browser and make sure you're logged into Shopify. Once you're logged in, you should see the main dashboard, and this is the site that I have connected to this store. And I'll take you through migrating everything from this site, from your customer data, to the products, to the reviews, to the pages, literally everything, okay? Then next, if you don't already have a Wix account, you're gonna need to create one. Now you can either click the link down in the description below, or you can also type in buyhassle.com/Wix, and this brings you over to Wix where you can start creating your account. If you use that link, it really helps support the channel and gets you a better deal as well. So go ahead and create your account. It will look something like this in the Wix dashboard, and don't worry about adding products or designing anything yet. We're gonna handle all of that through the migration process. Then next, we're going to use a tool called Cart to Cart. And this is hands down the best migration tool I've found for moving stores between different platforms. For Cart to Cart, again, I'll leave a link down in the description. And once you're there, you want to click on Try for Free and then enter in your email address. Then we simply click Try Free Demo Now. And then it's going to ask your role. For me, I'm the store owner. For you guys, you're most likely the store owner as well. If you're a freelancer or an agency, just select the one that fits you best. Then from here, we have three options to start a migration. We can follow the migration wizard, we can let the team assist us, or we can calculate our migration prices. Now, we are going to click the first one because I want to walk you through the entire process. So click on Start Free Demo. From here, we're going to select our source store, which is our Shopify store, then our Wix store as a target. Then we select all the data points and entities that we want to transfer, and from there we will continue with the tutorial. But first, let's connect our Shopify store. So for that, we have two options, and the easiest one is by installing the Cart to Cart app. So what I would recommend is simply going to Shopify. Then from here we can go to apps, and then we want to type in Cart to Cart, just like that. And then right here we want to install this on Shopify. So click install right here. Then here we click install once again. And then right here we want to log in with our account. So we select I have a Cart to Cart account, and we want to fill in our email and password. Now I received an email as well right here with my email login and password. So we can simply copy the password right here and fill in our email address, just like that. And then we click sign in and connect. Then from here, as you can see, our data migration is showing. So we can go to the migration wizard, just like that. And we click on continue migration right here. And then we go back to the store source, which we want to select our Shopify store. And right here, the custom domain will not show. So as you can see on my main site, it's vacuumate.store. Right here, it is the default myshopify.com domain name, which is correct. So don't worry about that. This will be the right one. And then we click on next step. Okay, once we've done that, we can go back to Cart, which will look like this, where the correct store is selected. You can click on next step right here. This will then bring us to step 2, the target store setup. And this is where we want to select Wix. And this is where we want to install the Cart to Cart app on Wix. So what I would recommend to do is go to Wix right here. And then we can simply at the top already type in Cart to Cart, just like that. And install the first app right here. And here we want to add this to site. And if you haven't installed the online store app for Wix, it might require you to install that first, but go ahead and do that if it asks. Then click on agree and add. Now also here, it will ask us to log in with our email and password, which I'll do right now, just like that. And as we can see, also here the migration is showing. So we simply click on continue migration. And here we have the target store setup. We select next. And now it brings us to step 3, which is the entity selection. This is from all the things that we want to transfer to our new site. So for me, within this demo, there are 10. So for the products, I'm going to select all the products. You can also transfer the product categories, manufacturers, the customers, which I'll do as well, the orders, the blogs, the posts, and the coupons. This is everything that is on my side, as it's quite a plain website and I actually made this for another tutorial. But if you have a lot of customers, you have a lot of blogs, you have way more data points, even reviews, these will all show here, and cart to cart allows you to all transfer them at once. So once you've selected everything you want to transfer, we click on next step right here, and this will bring you to the mapping setup. And this is pretty much a difference in this case between Shopify and Wix. On Wix you have partially paid, pending, refunded, paid, and on Wix it's just set to unpaid and paid. I would leave this at default, same at the fulfillment status mapping, but you can customize this if you want. Once you're satisfied, you can click next step once again. Then you can also choose to clear the current data on the target store before migrating. So we set up this Wix store just a couple minutes ago. So the only thing that will be here are example products from the template that you're going to use, but we can clear this if we want. For now, this is alright. So I'll click on start demo migration. And now basically what's going to happen, it's going to select 10 products, 10 customers, 10 orders, that's the cap, and see if we did the connection correctly. So this usually takes a couple of seconds. Okay, there we go. It now brought us to the results, and now we can see what we've actually transferred. So now, for example, what I can do to check, I can go to the catalog, open it in a new tab, right here on Wix. And now as you can see, the 2 products that were previously on my Shopify store have also been imported. So for example, the Vacuumate, which is the vacuum cleaner that I made a store about, has been imported. All the images, the name, the description, the pricing, shipping settings, pretty much everything. And also if we check that right here on Shopify, we can see that the same 2 products are here as well with the exact data. So it imported correctly. Same for the customers. I made an order as well. If we then go to customers right here and check that, we can right here see that the order has also imported into Wix. And if I check that on Shopify as well and I go to customers, right here you can see that this is the order that I did on the Shopify store. So pretty much all the data points that are relevant for our cart, for our online store, have been imported, which is a really big convenience. So we now confirmed that everything is working and the transfer was successful, and now we can set up the full migration. For that, you can simply click Setup Full Migration right here. And now we can start the full migration setup. First, you see the insurance plan option, and this protects you against failed or corrupted migrations. For example, the first plan gives you a remigration within 14 days, which is 9% more than the price of the full migration. Now, I usually recommend this just for peace of mind in case something goes wrong. And this time, for this migration, you want to select everything that you want: products, customers, orders, reviews, blog posts, coupons, categories. Just check the boxes for whatever applies to your store. As you can see, my store again is quite slim, so there are not a lot of data points, but this is going to be everything that's going to be imported. Then all the way at the bottom, you get a discount for using my link in the description. And then if you're satisfied, you can click Start Full Migration. And then right here through Shopify, you can approve this payment, and then cart to cart will migrate all the data points to Wix, just like the demo. Then once this transfer is complete, we now have all the data points of our store on Wix. However, this is only information for the backend, and cart to cart does an amazing job transferring all your data, but it doesn't migrate your storefront design. Because if we now take a look at the homepage of our site, you can see it looks nothing like the original. Because if we now go ahead and take a look at the homepage of our Wix site, it looks nothing like the original. And this is because Shopify and Wix use completely different templates, systems, and design structures. So the homepage, the theme, the layout, the colors, and the font, there's no way to automatically migrate these to a different website builder. But don't worry, this is actually a good thing because it gives you a chance to create an even better looking site. And basically you have 2 options here. The first option is to basically rebuild the site by hand manually on Wix. So you can look at your pages right here and try to remake it in Wix. And this can work if you have the time and design skills, but it's pretty time consuming and not what I would recommend. What I would recommend is simply going to Fiverr, and this is what I do every single time. You hire a Wix designer to clone your Shopify store design. I've done this multiple times and it's honestly the best option. Just search for Wix website design or something like Shopify to Wix migration, just like that. And as you can see, there are countless of people who can do this kind of service. The typical cost ranges from about $50 to $100 for simple designs and up to maybe $300 to $400 for more complex or highly customizable sites. For example, you get many people right here, level 2 sellers with a lot of reviews who can migrate from Wix to Shopify and also the other way around. And what is great about this approach is that the designers know both platforms inside and out. They can recreate your exact design, often making it look even better than the original. And they'll handle all the technical stuff like making sure it's mobile responsive and optimized. Now inside Shopify, I usually give them access as an employee on my Shopify store so they can see the UI, the store design, and also give them access to my Wix account from where they can start designing the site. Then usually within a few days, I have a perfect replica that often looks better than the original. And I've done this with my previous client's website, and this was the original store, and this is what the migrated Wix version was. And this cost only $100 with a freelancer on Fiverr. Now once your data is migrated, there are just a few things you'll need to set up manually in Wix, but these are pretty straightforward. First of all, you'll need to configure your payment method. Go to your Wix dashboard and simply type in payments at the top, and then for the second option you can click on accept payments, and then from here you can configure your payment methods in a very similar way as on Shopify. Next, you also want to set up your shipping options and rates. So again, at the top you can simply type in shipping, and then it will show you store, products, and inventory settings. And then from here, you can also configure your shipping. It's the same with taxes. I'm not gonna dive too deep into these things in this video. It's very, very similar to Shopify. And if you need help, there are countless of tutorials that show you how to set up shipping, taxes, and the payment method on Wix. Now finally, if you've been using a custom domain name on Shopify, you probably also want to change this to your Wix website. Now for that, making a transfer like that is actually super easy. For that, you first want to go to Shopify, you want to go to settings at the bottom right, you want to go to settings at the bottom left. From here, we want to click on domains, and then we want to find the correct domain, which for me is vacuumate.store. We open it up right here, and then right here in domain settings, it's gonna show an option, transfer to another provider. You want to click on this, and now it says transfer vacuumate to another provider. It can take up to 7 days, but this is super easy. Once you click confirm, just like that, now the domain name is open for transfer, and right here is the authorization code. Now I need to blur this for this video, otherwise you guys can just copy my domain name. But right now it's really easy. On Wix, you simply want to go to the domain setting, just like that. You want to click on domains right here, and then here we want to connect the domain that we already own, and then here it's gonna ask to upgrade. Now for this video I'm using a dummy store, so I cannot properly show you this, but it's actually super easy. You simply fill in the authorization code from Shopify, the DNS records, and then it will already be connected. Now please note, this can take 7 days, but it's actually very easy. Now once everything is set up and tested on Wix, you can cancel your Shopify subscription. But I always recommend keeping both stores running for at least a week or two while you make sure everything is working perfectly on the Wix side. Also, don't forget to update any marketing materials, business cards, or advertisements that might still be pointing to your old Shopify site, like Facebook ads or social media. And that's it. You've successfully migrated your entire Shopify store to Wix. The whole process from data migration to design recreation usually takes about a week if you hire someone to handle the design, or a few weeks if you're doing everything yourself. Again, for all the software we used, I'll leave links down in the description. They help support the channel with no extra cost to you. If you found this tutorial helpful, using these links would massively help the channel make these videos. And if you run into any issues during your migration, or you need help with any parts of this process, drop a comment down below. I'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.